If your pots are empty in July, you're not taking a break. You're throwing away free food. Most gardeners think July is too late to plant. But in containers, July is your second planting season. Here are 8 vegetables you can start right now, in ordinary pots, for a real fall harvest. Even if all you have is a balcony, a patio, or a front step. And the fastest one on this list? It goes from a bare seed to food in just 21 days. But choose the wrong crop now, and you'll get beautiful leaves with zero food before the frost hits. Imagine watering a healthy-looking plant for 60 days, then watching the first frost kill it before you harvest a single bite. That's the mistake most container gardeners make. They don't run out of season, they run out of the right crop. Garden extension programs across the country point to the same pattern. Late-season container plantings outperform in-ground ones. Not because of luck, but because loose potting mix stays workable when garden soil locks up from the heat. So here's the one thing that decides it. Most late plantings fail for a single reason. The seeds go into hot, crusted soil that stops them cold. A simple pot of loose potting mix skips that problem entirely. That's exactly why these 8 crops still have time to feed you before frost. There's a reason most gardeners quit in July, and it has nothing to do with the calendar. The crop at number 1 proves it. Let's start the countdown. Number 8. Bush beans. We're starting at number 8 on purpose, because it breaks the biggest summer gardening myth first. Bush beans are perfectly happy in a 5-gallon bucket, and the math still works. 55 days puts you well before frost. This is the mistake most container gardeners make with beans. They plant straight into dry, compacted July soil. The surface crusts over. Water runs off. The seedlings fight to come up, and most of them lose. A pot fixes exactly that. Loose mix, good drainage, air around the roots. That's why experienced fall gardeners often start beans in a container, even when they have a full garden bed available. Picture a bucket of beans sitting by the back door, ready to pick in late September. That's not wishful thinking. That's just the right timing. The one catch? Beans are tender. A hard frost ends them. So plant now, not later. But this next one? It laughs at the cold. Number 7. Beets. Beets are exactly where containers quietly beat a garden bed. In heavy garden soil, roots hit resistance and come out lumpy and forked. Fill a pot with loose, fluffy potting mix, and they grow perfectly round and clean. Plus, you get 2 crops from 1. Pull a few young leaves for salads, while the roots size up below. Beets shrug off temperatures down to 26 degrees. An early frost is no threat at all. Now if you want a crop that feeds you for months and looks like a garden showpiece, number 6 is the one most people completely overlook. Number 6. Swiss chard. Most gardeners cut too much too soon, and never let the plant keep producing. Chard is a classic cut-and-come-again crop. Snip only the outer stalks, and it keeps feeding you for months, right through light frosts in the high 20s. Not to mention, those neon pink, orange, and white stems look better than most fall flowers. Now here's the part most gardeners skip, and it's the reason late plantings fail. If you can read one number off a seed packet, you can use this. Days to maturity, plus about 2 weeks for harvest time, plus 2 more weeks for what's called the fall factor, because shorter days in autumn naturally slow plants down. Count that total backward from your first frost date. That is your last safe planting day. One calculation, that's all it takes. This is the same timing method experienced fall gardeners use every year, and the same framework recommended by most university garden extension guides. So here's the twist most people miss. July is not the end of the growing season. For container gardeners, July is the second starting line. Number 5. Mustard greens. Mustard greens are the low-effort fall crop. They don't need much sun. They don't need a deep pot. And after a few cold nights, they actually taste better. Cold weather chemically mellows that sharp, peppery bite. What starts bold and spicy turns tender and mild. Perfect for a fall salad. And like chard, it's cut and come again. Snip the outer leaves, and the pot keeps refilling for weeks. And if your problem isn't frost but not enough sun, the next 2 crops were made for you. Number 4. Spinach. Spinach is fussy in one specific way, and a pot quietly solves it. Spinach seed will not sprout when the soil is hot. In the July heat, the seed may simply refuse to wake up. So you use the pot's superpower, move it to a cool, shaded spot just to germinate, then slide it back into the light. No garden bed gives you that flexibility. But what if you don't even have a sunny spot to move it to? That's exactly where number 3 takes over. Number 3. Loose leaf lettuce. If your balcony only gets a few hours of sun, do not skip this one. Loose leaf lettuce is the crop that makes shady corners useful. Snip the outer leaves and it regrows again and again. Picture that dim corner of your porch, the one that never gets enough light for tomatoes or peppers. Now picture pulling fresh salad greens from it every few days. That's what lettuce does with the space most gardeners waste. The only real enemy here is heat. If your July afternoons turn brutal, give the pot some afternoon shade, or the lettuce may bolt before you get many leaves. Now we're down to the final 2. And number 2 is the crop that actually gets better the colder it gets. Number 2. Kale. Kale is the toughest crop on this list. And here's the part that changes how most people think about frost. Most beginners rush to cover their plants the second a frost warning shows up. But with kale, a light frost is actually a good thing. When temperatures drop, the plant converts stored starches into sugars. It's a natural antifreeze, documented plant biology. In plain terms, the leaves get noticeably sweeter after a frost. Leave the pot out to catch that first light frost and sweeten up. Then carry it indoors before a hard, deep freeze. But all of that is still 60 days away. What if you want food in 3 weeks? Number 1 delivers. And finally, number 1, radish. The fastest food on this list. Think about that for a second. Every other crop on this list takes 40, 50, 60 days. The radish? Some varieties are done in 21. While the kale is still finding its roots, the radish is already on your plate. A little 2-gallon pot, 4 to 6 inches deep, partial sun. That's the entire setup. Tuck radish seeds into the gaps between your other containers, right there beside the tomato pots and the bean bucket. They ask for almost nothing, and they give you something back before you've even started to wait. A tiny pot, a handful of seeds. 21 days. That's the instant win that proves July was never too late. And that is exactly why radish is number 1. So that's 8 vegetables you can still plant in July. All in pots. All in time for a fall harvest before the frost. No yard, no digging. No guesswork. Start with radishes if you want a quick win. Spinach or lettuce if you're short on sun. Kale if you want something that actually gets sweeter after the frost. And remember the one rule that ties it all together. Check your first frost date. Count backward from days to maturity. Add the fall factor. July is not too late. It is your second chance at a harvest. Which one are you planting first? Radishes, kale, or beans? Drop it in the comments below. And before you plant, watch the next video. Because the right crop only works if the container is set up right.